It's the Wrestling Wrap-Up, and in this episode, we're going to talk about what the hell's going on with TNA Wrestling. We got stories about where they're going to air on television potentially, and a former UFC owner who could be buying the company. We're going to talk about all that and more on the Wrestling Wrap-Up. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we're here on the 15th of August, 2025, and this is the Wrestling Wrap-Up, a handful of news brought to you in one easy-to-watch video. As far as the topics for today's show, we're going to talk a bunch about TNA. We're going to talk about Liv Morgan maybe having a setback in her recovery. Ace Austin is now all elite. This weekend is AAA Triple Mania. And we have a little slight update on Karrion Cross and Scarlett, as apparently they're charging a lot of money for appearances, and they announced a bunch of appearances today as well. But with that, as we take a look at the chat here, as we start off, seeing everybody that's piling in right now, I want to say thank you guys. We've been doing this now for 2 full weeks. This is the 4th episode of the new iteration of the Wrestling Wrap-Up. I, again, want to say thank you to everybody that comes in live, but then everybody that also watches later, whether that's here on YouTube or over on podcast platforms, because we do have a number of people. It's not like a big substantial number that's going to have us ranking or anything right now. We do have a number of people that do listen to our podcast episodes. Let me try not to burp. Podcast episodes on audio platforms, whether that is on Spotify, whether that's through like YouTube Music, Apple Music, and so forth. So again, we've now hit the 2-week mark of bringing back this Monday, Friday podcast. This is now the 4th episode, so we've done a full week of Monday, Tuesday. Now we're hitting a second full week of Monday, Tuesday. And again, I just wanted to say a thank you guys for all the support and everything that you have been showing. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, it helps out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Whether you're subscribing and helping us out at the $1 tier or the $5 tier, you're going to get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat in the comments section. You're going to get access to our graphics packages. You're going to get access to our graphics tutorials. And we're going to do old school watch-alongs, retro watch-alongs of old non-live wrestling. So maybe we'll go back and watch the first TNA show. Maybe we'll go back and watch, the first AEW Double or Nothing. Maybe we'll go watch some old WCW. I don't know exactly yet. We're going to figure it all out, but it should be a good time over there as well. And remember, if you are watching live on YouTube, you get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air by donating a super chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here. Not me, this code right here. PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Whether you are buying a new game, maybe you're getting the new Madden through the Epic Game Store, or you're getting new things in Fortnite because they got the Power Rangers there now. Whether that is the green and the white Ranger in the actual Battle Pass, or you're looking for red, blue, black, yellow, pink in the shop, well, use our code, this one, PW Unlimited at checkout. And then you're supporting us at no extra cost. It takes 5-10 seconds, however fast you could type PWNLIMITED, and then you're good to go. Whether you're on your phone, your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Nintendo Switch, your phone, your Xbox, your Switch, your tablet, your computer, your Amazon Fire Stick, whatever it is, well, you can use our code. But with all of that, we got a bigums to talk about when it comes to TNA. Now, I keep seeing somebody in the live chat keep putting Monday Night Wars confirmed. For what? Monday Night Wars confirmed for what? Raw's on Monday, and no other wrestling company is moving to Monday. We might get a new Wednesday Night War, as we're going to talk about here in a second. But there's nothing about another wrestling company moving a show to Monday. No, that ain't the case. So the first thing we have to read about here, and give me 2 seconds to pull this back up because I accidentally closed it. Let me just get this back up here really fast. We're going to first talk about what's going on with TNA and their TV media rights. Then we're going to talk about a big, as Fightful puts it, reckless speculation on a big former UFC boss, owner, whatever you want to call him, that could possibly buy TNA Wrestling. But yesterday, John Alba of Sports Illustrated did put out an article talking about basically the TV rights media deal that Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, keeps talking about. He's like, we got something coming. We got something's going to be big. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But then he just keeps saying, hey, coming soon. Coming in 90 days, maybe 60 days, maybe whatever days. And it looks like it's the CW. Now, originally, over the last couple of weeks, we had heard that both the CW and A&E, both networks that work with WWE, keep that in mind, are interested, or at least at one point were interested in TNA. And we know that, what is it now, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, CW officials went to Tony Khan and said, hey, we're interested in Ring of Honor. But at the same time, they were also interested in TNA, not to just get one, but to possibly get both. And now we could see both. We can now see the CW have both NXT and TNA. Now, John Alba does write, quote, the takedown on SI has learned in recent days that the rumor mill regarding those networks has picked up significant steam. Multiple independent sources tell the takedown on SI that there have at least been discussions of TNA moving to a WWE associated network, and that the company is open to shifting from Thursdays to Wednesdays, which would go head to head with AEW Dynamite. While it's not directly indicated that the destination would be the CW, it was expressed through the takedown on SI that the CW's interest in the promotion is legitimate, and that some stakeholders in WWE would like TNA to be part of that network. So, and then again, he says, it is not clear how far those discussions have progressed, but it is stressed that nothing has been signed as of yet. And Carlos Silva was even asked about this. Hey, you guys going to the CW? Is your big TV deal with the CW? And he was like, there's nothing I can talk about. And there's nothing I can talk about. And then he's like, are you going to move to Wednesdays? And he's like, if we get a TV deal and they want us on a different night, we'll talk about it. But there's nothing to say and announce right now. And then, so we get this news. And it's like, okay, TNA on the CW. That's awesome. That's cool. Give some tie-ins with NXT. If they're on Wednesdays, then you got 2 nights in a row on the CW with wrestling in prime time. And then the other question would be, are they going to be live? Are they going to be pre-taped? Carlos Silva told Ariel Helwani that, he's not sure about going live every single week at first, maybe every other or once a month like they have been doing, but eventually getting to live every single week. And there's a number that they would need to be making to make that profitable, to make that feasible for the company where they're not losing money doing the live tapings. Now, I know there are a number of TNA wrestlers that like the TV schedule that they have. You come in once a month, you film a live show, you come back the next day, you film 3 weeks of TV. Maybe sometimes you have to do an extra thing for the app specials, but you're not on the road every single week. Now, if they go to CW and CW says, well, we want you live every week, well, then they'd have to be on the road every single week. But that's another discussion they have had once we know what's going on. But the big thing here is what Fightful calls reckless speculation. They state, quote, could a TNA sale be happening to a big name? It reads as followed. Not as much reckless speculation as much as relaying some wild, unsubstantiated rumors that are going to emerge regardless. It surrounds today's report of possible TV rights and rumors of a possible TNA sale. This afternoon, John Alba of Sports Illustrated reported that TNA Wrestling was open to moving to Wednesday nights and opposing AEW as part of their media rights discussions. CAA has been helping TNA shop this brand around. Sports Illustrated said that TNA president Carlos Silva wouldn't deny the rumors, which is also similar of a reaction that Fightful got when they reached out to Silva as well. TNA being on the market is nothing new. We can confirm that there have been feelers, both from the Anthem side to find a potential purchaser, as well as potential buyers making offers. Scott D'Amore publicly revealed that he'd made efforts to buy TNA that were unsuccessful. Tony Khan has revealed that he was approached about potentially buying TNA before he started AEW. However, sources have indicated to us that a few years ago, Khan was approached again and opted against it. So that's an interesting one there, that Tony Khan, once he started AEW and after he started AEW, was approached for a second time to buy TNA. So TNA tried to sell to Khan. I would say, what would that be then? When year would that be? Because Carlos Silva took over, a year and a half, 2 years ago? So it would have had to have been maybe before that, with the last regime. Probably before the TNA switchover and the rebrand back to TNA. So I would assume that happened in 2024, sometime 22, 23. That's just me speculating. Fightful continues to write, however, sources have indicated to us that one of the people we spoke to said that there wasn't a lot of value for AEW in a TNA purchase. Yes and no, as most of the veterans in the company are on the ROH library as opposed to TNA's. I mean, that's true as well. There's a lot of people that they would want for the TV library that they can just be like, we'll use ROH footage because we got a lot of them there. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, SCU, and so forth. Sources in All Elite Wrestling have also heard claims a couple weeks ago that the CW could be an option. And shortly after, the Wrestling Observer reported that A&E was also rumored. Both networks have direct ties to the WWE and parent company TKO as they broadcast WWE programming. WWE has internally spread out their broadcast rights, landing deals with Netflix, USA Network, the CW, A&E, Tubi, NBC, and Peacock. Much of their Peacock content will be moving to ESPN's new DTC system service in 2025. ESPN is also tied to Disney and ABC, Tubi with Fox, USA with Universal, and TKO's UFC content will be moving from ESPN to Paramount/CBS in 2026. So WWE kind of has a market and a monopoly with everybody. If you really look at it, as we kind of take a look at things here, WWE has a partnership with just about every network broadcast outlet. They've got NBC through the Peacock deal and through the SmackDown deal and through the Saturday Night's Main Event deal. They've technically still got ties with Fox through the Tubi deal because if you don't know, Fox owns Tubi, which they do and don't really push out hard. Like they should be putting more Fox content on Tubi, but I guess they want Tubi to be a free thing and not a subscription thing. It's a whole thing. Now with the new ESPN deal, they've got a partnership with ABC, which is Disney, which that could be huge. Don't know if that's going to be anything because you go, put them in Disneyland, do things at the park. Well, you could have said that with Universal Studios as well, and they're just now finally doing something big with them with the Halloween Horror Nights 25 years after the last time that they did something for Halloween Horror Nights. Now TKO, not WWE, but TKO has a partnership with CBS, my bad, CBS, because of the Paramount Plus deal, which will also see numbered events on CBS, which Dana White said the other day, the White House show next year, oh boy, it'll be on CBS. But then as we keep looking forward, they've also got a deal with the CW. The only networks that are like big broadcast networks that they don't have a deal with is like Univision. And then a lot of places get My Network TV still. I think that's still a thing. Let me double check. I know we did in California, but I don't have like an antenna to know here anymore. I did have an antenna TV back there. My Network TV. Is that still a thing? It is still a thing. Yeah, My Network TV is still a thing, which WWE used to have content on because they were on the UPN when SmackDown first started. Then when the UPN and WB merged to create the CW, they moved over to CW. Then when their deal with CW ended for SmackDown, they moved back over to what was the old UPN and My Network TV, because basically they took all the UPN stuff for the most part and moved it over to WB, created the CW, but then there was still like the shell of UPN that turned into My Network TV anyways. The interesting thing, what if WWE tries to get a TV deal for like AAA on Univision? That would be an interesting one. And then My Network TV, whatever, I don't even know if they have, does My Network TV even have new content, or is it all reruns? That's an interesting one. Let me look really fast. All shows. Yeah. Oh, all they run are episodes of Dateline, Suits, Law and Order, and Chicago Fire. That's it. You go to mynetworktv.com and you click on shows. That's all they have. Damn. Let me see. Do we even have it here in Tulsa? We do have a My Network TV. Okay, interesting. But regardless, it's like WWE and TKO, they're tapped in with every network out there, basically, every broadcast station for the most part. I mean, there's a chance we could see WWE stuff popping up on ABC, just like we had seen with the UFC and their ESPN deal. Fightful continues to write, it doesn't end there. Another interesting connection are rumors of former UFC owner Lorenzo Fertitta possibly being involved. We're told that his name emerged from meetings this week. And earlier, Conrad Thompson posted an ominous GIF saying, Lorenzo. We're told that was in response to rumors going around in wrestling that Lorenzo Fertitta could, for some reason, be involved in a rumored sale of TNA. Fertitta, of course, is tied to TKO, as he formerly owned the UFC, which is now under the umbrella of TKO. Fertitta did business with Dana White for decades. White is still with the TNA, with TKO as the UFC president. WWE and TKO have made heavy moves to counter-program AEW, with them ramping things up since 2024 specifically. The company ran a holiday tour live event up against AEW World's End in December of 2024, then NXT Battleground against AEW Double or Nothing. WWE also planned a weekend of shows in Atlanta, including Goldberg's retirement match, WWE Evolution, and Great American Bash against AEW All In. The NXT Heatwave event is going up against AEW Forbidden Door. There are also rumors and confirmed rumors that WWE is running a PLE in September with Brock Lesnar and John Cena as the main event against All Out, and potentially running John Cena's retirement match against World's End. Now, the one thing I'm going to say about all of this, and the one thing I'm going to say about WWE counter-programming AEW, hate me for saying it, I don't care, Tony brought it upon himself. All the shit talking that Tony has talked about WWE in the last 6 years, he brought it upon himself. He's eventually just pissed off Nick Khan to the point where Nick Khan now just gets his jollies off when they run a show against AEW and hope that they mess them up or mess with them. Like, I don't even think that they care if they run them out of business per se. It's more of just, oh, you want to talk shit on us? You're the Pepsi, we're the Harvey Weinstein? Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, guy. We're going to just run up against you and do what we do. Run big shows to make your shows look not as big, I guess you would say. So, yeah, that's the one thing I'm going to say about all that. Tony brought this on himself. All the jabs that they would have their wrestlers doing, or the wrestlers just would do on their own on TV early on. Tony going on like NFL Network and that one comment, yeah, we do have competition with WWE, but you know what? We're the Pepsi. They're the Harvey Weinstein. Like that one right there. Last year when he was wearing the fucking neck brace, I bet you that's the comment that pushed Nick Khan to the point of, oh, they want to say this? Let's show them who the real big dogs are. You know what I mean? But interesting stuff here that they state that, and quote, UFC owner Lorenzo Fertitta possibly being involved. Name emerged from meetings this week. Meetings. What kind of meetings, and meetings with who? Meetings with Anthem Sports and Entertainment? Meetings with President Carlos Silva? Meetings with TKO? That's the big what if. And who? With who? What? I don't know what to really think about all this. It's like if Lorenzo Fertitta does buy buy TNA, then you got to think, what kind of a team does he assemble to run that company? We've seen that Carlos Silva, who works for Anthem Sports, is very heavily invested in the future of TNA. Would he go with TNA? Would he remain as the president? Would it be a sale of he buys part of the company, majority stock in the company, like majority ownership, but it's still under Anthem Sports in a way, and they're like running the day-to-day, but he's funding and this and that? That's the other question. It's like, okay, a sale. Is it a full-blown 100% sale? You bring in a whole new crew and everybody to run the show and this and that, or is it you invest in the company, you become majority owner, and then Anthem Sports and their people who are running it right now are still running it? Because again, I don't know what Carlos Silva's position would be on all this. Would he still be president And could he still be president? I don't know if his thing is he works for TNA or if his thing is he's working for Anthem Sports and Entertainment. And if they sell TNA, he stays with Anthem Sports or goes with TNA. That's the other big question, because I would kind of want to see whatever happens with TNA, Carlos Silva remain with the company, because he seems like somebody that actually cares about the company, that actually cares about TNA and pro wrestling, and not just, oh, we got this property, let's see what we could do with it. We bought it, now we got to try and make it profitable. We own it, we got to do something. We're going to put it somewhere. You know what I mean? He doesn't feel like just someone like that. Like we saw with, I could picture the guy's face, but I can't think of his name. The guy that was president-ish, I guess you would say, before they brought in Don Callis and Scott D'Amore. God damn, what was his name? What was his name? Hold on. TNA Wrestling President. Oh, his name was... Hold on. Now it's going to bug me if I don't find this out. And then I know as soon as I read the name, I'm going to be like, oh, no shit. Duh. His name was... Come on, why can't I find this? It was... Hold on. Former president. Not Dixie Carter. Was he not president? There was somebody that I could picture his face that at one point between like Billy Corgan, like Billy Corgan was the president, and then Anthem bought it and they threw some random guy in charge until they brought in Scott D'Amore. Now I can't remember. God damn it. Now I can't remember this guy's name. This is really going to bug me. Oh, well, I guess it's not that important if we can't figure out his name. He wasn't that. And I'm not talking about Anthony Cicion, because I know that was the guy that was right before Silva was the president. Like, they kicked out Scott D'Amore, they brought in Anthony Cicion, and then he was like interim until they fully brought Silva into the thing. But anyways, I guess it's not that important if I can't remember his name. But dude, fuck, if I can think of his name, if someone says his name, it's gonna be like, no shit, that's his name. Anyways, but yeah, so the big thing here is, where is TNA going as far as TV does go? Or are they gonna go to the CW? I think the CW would be a really good partner for them. We've seen them be a great partner for NASCAR because they've started airing NASCAR this year. They're the exclusive home of the Xfinity Series. We've seen them since last October with NXT, doing great things there and integrating, you know, NXT and wrestling with their NASCAR property and other sports properties. They're really building their sports portfolio with CW Sports, and they want more sports. They want more live content on the network. They've said it. They want more sports, and they want more live content that is going to give them stuff most weeks. They've got that with WWE. CW is 52 weeks a year. They've got that with NASCAR, where with the Xfinity Series, they've got them for 32 weeks of the year. And then, you know, they got Live Golf, and they've got, they now have Inside the NFL, I think is what it is. So they've got great content and great sports stuff there, and they want to keep building their portfolio. Ed Nordholm, thank you. Thank you, Labidi. Thank you, Labidi. Ed Nordholm was the name I was looking for. God dang, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Now I feel dumb. But I think, again, CW would be a great partner for TNA. There's the already built-in partnership with them and WWE with NXT. So you would have NXT on Tuesdays, TNA on Wednesdays. You can have cross-progression in storylines where it's like on a Tuesday, Joe Hendry shows up here, and then on a Wednesday, he's on his show, TNA Impact, but then someone from TNA shows up that he pissed off the night before. That would be really cool. That would be really fun. And it's all within the CW. So there's cross promotion and branding and this forth and so what. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this all goes, how quickly this all happens. Again, Carlos Silva said about right before Slammiversary, or maybe 90 days out from announcing something, hopefully, as far as TV deal does go. Lorenzo Fertitta buying the company. I don't know what that could mean. Again, is it full 100% buyout? Then he has his own people run the company, is a majority stakeholder, and then he's like funding it, bringing in some new people, but then the people that are already there are running it. Again, from everything that we've seen this past year, I would just love if Carlos Silva sticks around as president. No matter what else happens, I would love for Carlos Silva to stick around as president. But here's my one other big pitch. If they're going to go to, say, the CW network and air on Wednesday nights, head-to-head in primetime with AEW Dynamite, what's the biggest thing that they should do on that night? What's one of the biggest things, two of the biggest things that they can do on that first show that would go head-to-head with AEW? I was having a conversation with a friend earlier this morning about this, and we both kind of said the same thing. The two biggest things that they can do, and they're bringing back people that have worked with TNA in the past, the two biggest things that they can do, if they want to really try to outdo a Dynamite on their first night on the CW, and this is all speculation, this is all fantasy booking, they should put CM Punk on the show as a really big fuck you to AEW, if they really want to just say fuck you. So CM Punk is now going head-to-head with AEW on a Wednesday. But then, that show, that first TNA Wednesday night CW show should be main evented. Main evented. I don't know who the opponent would be, but main evented. If it's within the next year or two, AJ Styles' final TNA match. AJ Styles' final TNA match on the CW, head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. How fucking crazy would that be? Just wild, reckless speculation. But what if that's something that can happen? AJ gets his final match in TNA before he's fully retired. Maybe it's against Leon Slater. Maybe it's against Joe Hendry. Maybe it's against Matt Cardona. Maybe it's against Frankie Kazarian. But they do that, and then they don't have to do both, one or the other. But I think the AJ one is the bigger one. You want to see AJ Styles' final match in TNA, and you don't have to pay for a cable subscription to watch it on whatever network. You don't have to pay for TNA Plus. It's not a pay-per-view. No, you plug in them rabbit ears, and you got the CW, and you're watching it. That would be huge. That would be mega. If their first show on CW on a Wednesday against AEW would be AJ Styles' final match ever in TNA. Whew. I see Trey saying AJ and Moose. Sure. Moose don't get his flowers sometimes for being as good as he actually is. But that would be really great. And I know they don't do, we're going to send main roster wrestlers from WWE to TNA. But if Nick Khan really had that wild hair up his ass to fuck with AEW, he'd probably do it. If he sees the opportunity there to go, wait, up against AEW? Oh, yeah, go AJ. No, Cycle, they're not going to do AJ and Abyss. Abyss is done. Abyss is not wrestling again. I think Abyss has said the only thing that he would even maybe consider, and this is like a very, 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 very minute chance, a Rumble appearance. Maybe. But he's not having a match, and they're not going to do AJ versus Abyss. Trust me. You're not going to capture 2003 AJ Abyss in that cage. That match was great. AJ getting that cage thrown in his face. Oh, my God. Anyways, that's the TNA talk. It could go to the CW. Could be on Tuesdays. And apparently there was a meeting where, I don't know if he was there or his name was just brought up. Lorenzo Fertitta is now connected to potentially buying TNA in some sort of fashion, becoming an owner within TNA. So we'll see where it all does lead to. We'll see what happens with all of this. But it is, in my opinion, very, very interesting as somebody who has been watching TNA almost from the beginning. Like, I wasn't there when they had the first shows and whatnot. I wasn't there when, not there, but like watching as a kid, because I was what? How old was I when TNA started in 2002? I was 13. And I found TNA, and this is just a little quick story. I found TNA by accident. Because, growing up, we had DirecTV. But we only had it on the main TV in the living room. All the other TVs, we had rabbit ears. So if we wanted to watch something in our bedroom, we had to get it on the rabbit ears. And we had, NBC, ABC, CBS, UPN, WB, all the main ones. But then sometimes we'd get in because ABC was channel 30. Then sometimes we get in channel 32, which ran just random stuff. But then one night, I found that they were running wrestling at 11 o'clock at night. And at 11 o'clock at night, they were running something called NWA Wildside. And I'm like, what is this? Who is this guy? And it was AJ Styles on the show. I'm like, what the shit? Who is this and what is this? So it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm supposed to be in bed. I watch it. And at midnight, we've got these guys on my TV that sounded familiar, at least one of them, but I wasn't sure who they were. And it was fucking Jeremy Borash, and I think it was Mike Tenay as well, doing TNA recaps on regular TV, on over-the-air broadcast television. I'm like, what the hell is this? TNA? And ever since then, I've been watching TNA, and then they moved over to Fox Sports Net before it was FS. Well, actually, Fox Sports Net before I think it got turned into Speed Channel and then FS1. And once they went to Fox Sports Net and they announced that on these random weekly things, and I started following. And then that was also around the time when I started following wrestling news online. And I was about 13 years old. And so I'm like, oh, these guys got Jeff Hardy. Oh my God. I got to watch, because Jeff Hardy, him and Matt were the ones that hooked me on wrestling. I will always tell the story. The night that the Hardys beat the APA, or the Acolytes, for the WWF tag titles, the first night that I actually watched a full episode of wrestling, saw that match, saw those guys, thought they were cooler than shit, and never stopped watching wrestling. Like, I had seen wrestling here and there when I'd go visit my grandparents in LA, because my grandfather watched it, kind of how he learned to speak English when they came from Italy, watching wrestling. But regardless, so I'd seen it, but never really knew what it was. And the kid moved in across the street, said, hey, come watch this show. That first show was when the Hardys won the tag titles, and bada bing, bada boom, there you go. I never stopped watching. But now I'm rambling a little bit, but it's like, I've been watching TNA almost from the beginning. Yeah, I didn't buy the pay-per-views for $10 every single week, but I had them recap shows that were 30 minutes long, just giving me highlights and telling me, hey, this is what happened this week on TNA. And so, very cool. So hopefully we get some great stuff from TNA. They're the company that will never die. Everyone has said within the first 5 years of them starting, and then when they were on this pay-per-view only, oh, this is never going to last. They can't last this model. Then Panda Energy came in, bought the company, and took off. And they were starting to die again when they got the Spike TV deal. That helped them bump up again. Then they had Russo working for and there's a whole thing we can go down into the weeds on this. Russo cost them the Spike deal because they were supposed to fire Russo. Spike TV said, hey, we don't want you working with Vince Russo anymore. We don't like the guy. He's shady. Fire him. And then Vince Russo accidentally emailed somebody at Spike TV, I think is how the story goes, about like weekly production. And they're like, what the fuck? Huh? No, you're off our network. And then they brought in, I think it was before, I can't remember if it was before or after that. They brought in Hogan and Bischoff. Then they were bouncing around networks. They were on Pop TV. They were on Destination America. Then they lost TV altogether. So then when they were sold to Anthem, because they wouldn't sell to Billy Corgan or whatever. Then Anthem bought, what was that? Access TV just to put them on there. And it was a whole freaking thing. TNA will never die. Now that they got this partnership with WWE, I know Carlos Silva is saying it's only a talent exchange. There's nothing more. We'll have to wait and see. But that's everything that we know going on with TNA right now as far as a possible sale of the company and a new TV rights deal that could come at almost any time, I think. That could be coming soon. Here's the thing. Most TV networks like to do their new seasons in October, like end of September, beginning of October is when the new season starts for a network. So in the next month, I think we get an announcement that like TNA is coming to the CW and starting on October 1st, which is a Wednesday. We'll see how it all does play out. But we got more to talk about. And before we talk about more, let's hear from our sponsor. Does the summer heat got you sweating through your shirt before noon? Maybe it's time to chill with an AECOOLY handheld fan. This pocket-sized powerhouse is your secret weapon against scorching temps. Whether catching rays listening to music or just looking to get a great tan, it brings the breeze right when you need it. With 3-speed settings, a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 10 hours, and a whisper-quiet motor, the AECOOLY fan delivers cool comfort without the buzz or bulk. Toss it in your bag, clip it to your desk, or have it right by your side at all times. It's compact, stylish, and oh so convenient. So why melt when you can breeze through summer? Use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/AECOOLY. That's AECOOLY now for coolin' in the palm of your hand. As far as our next story does go, Liv Morgan has been out of action with an injury, and it looks like there may have been a setback, as Mike Johnson of PW Insider is reporting late Friday morning that Morgan was due for a medical evaluation this week, and that the current hope amongst those in WWE is that she'll be good to return in early 2026, as long as her rehab goes according to plan. The recovery timeline is not far off from when she suffered a similar injury during the summer of 2023 and came back for the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble. Yet, there may have been some sort of a setback, and the Royal Rumble may be just a little bit too early for Liv to return. They're hoping that they have Liv back in time for the 2026 Royal Rumble, which will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. So that is the latest on Liv Morgan. People have been asking what's going on with Liv Morgan and her recovery, and basically they're kind of on track, but they won't know until she gets her next evaluation, and they're hopeful that she's back for the Rumble. They ain't coming anytime sooner. I think even if she's cleared in like early January, I don't think she's coming back to the Rumble. They're going to save her for the Rumble. But as we move forward, we got a video we're going to pop up on the screen here. As a former TNA X Division champion, is now All Elite. Last night, AEW was in Cincinnati. And AEW was in Cincinnati. And why is this not wanting to play properly? Here we go. AEW was in Cincinnati, and Ace Austin showed up to have a match with Ricochet. After the match, AEW president Tony Khan, and this video doesn't want to play for some reason, but Tony Khan, we'll just keep this here anyways. Tony Khan came out and asked the crowd, "Hey, would you like Ace Austin to be All Elite?" And like the crowd cheered, and he's like, "Ace, what do you think?" And Ace is like, "That sounds really good. I would love to be All Elite." And they announced that Ace Austin is All Elite, has signed with All Elite Wrestling. Now, we didn't get the graphic or anything yesterday because this show hasn't technically aired yet, but I think we get that graphic on Saturday when this show does air. I don't know why that video just would not play. I tried to play it through Twitter. Maybe I should have just played it off my computer. But regardless, Ace Austin is All Elite and is with AEW, which is very, very interesting. Also coming up tomorrow is Triple Mania. AAA's one of their biggest shows of the year, and a number of WWE talent are going to be on that show, including in the main event, including in the Mega Championship match. El Hijo del Vikingo will be defending the title against El Grande Americano, Dragon Lee, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, many people have said that they can see Dominic Mysterio winning that title, but in a new report from Bodyslam.net, they are actually reporting that several people within WWE and AAA are pushing for El Grande Americano, yes, El Grande Americano, to win the AAA Mega Championship this Saturday at Triple Mania. They feel his character is connecting incredibly with the fans in Mexico and believe putting the title on him would establish him as one of AAA's top stars in this new era. So this is huge, because we see when El Grande Americano does things on WWE programming or at WWE live events, he's the big heel that everyone boos. But for some reason, when he was down there in Mexico recently on a AAA show, they were cheering him. He was outside, they were asking for his autograph. So it's like, I don't know if it's they don't like Gable, because when Gable was doing stuff with AAA, they were booing the shit out of him. People were not happy. But now that it's Kaiser, I don't know what the difference is, but hey, kudos on them. Also, I think it was WrestleVotes yesterday did put out a report stating that WWE could be looking at rebranding AAA, maybe even making a new AAA logo that's got the WWE branding on it as well. Dave Meltzer also reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that WWE has plans to hold another AAA event in the United States before the end of 2025. Further details on when that event would be happening and where it would be taking place have yet to be disclosed. Meltzer wrote, quote, "There are right now plans for another AAA show in the US before the end of the year. The last one we had was in June with Worlds Collide." So we'll see where this all does lead to. I know WWE has been signing a lot more people as well. They put up a lot more merch for newer talent, like not newer AAA talent, but like talent that they didn't have merch for going into Worlds Collide. Now, as we pull this up on, let's see, WWE Shop. Let's pull this up really fast. Excuse me. Let me see. I think they have a AAA section now on WWE Shop. Where is this? They do. So we've got new merch on WWE Shop when it pertains to AAA. As we see here, if you click the AAA, so if we go back here really fast, you click the AAA banner. There's a new Mascara. Was El Hijo del Wagner, Dr. Wagner Jr. There's a Dom Mysterio shirt. That's the old Mr. Iguana shirt. This is a new Psycho Clown shirt. El Grande Americano is number uno. That's an interesting one. Okay, so they have they have Judgment Day shirts on here too, like this JD McDonough one because he's working the show this weekend. El Hijo del Vikingo, that's a new one. I think that's a new Psycho Clown shirt. This is a new El Grande Americano shirt. This one is new. La Hedra. I probably butchered that name. I think that's the same Octagon shirt we had before, but this is a new Pagano shirt. New Dr. Wagner shirt. Fabi Apache. This is a new one here. Nino Hamburguesa. I think that's the same Aerostar shirt. Lady Flamer shirt. This one for Microman, which is big, as WWE signed Microman to a deal. New La Parka shirt. Now El Macias shirt. This is a new Mr. Iguana shirt. Chica Tormenta. This is a new Pagano shirt. Dragon Lee. And then a Laredo Kid shirt. So new merch up there for AAA wrestlers or wrestlers working AAA through WWE, like this Lola Vice shirt and so forth. As far as our final story goes, we're going to talk a little bit about Karrion Cross and Scarlett, as they've announced some new dates and whatnot for just not being with WWE anymore. And basically nothing wrestling really, as far as like matches or working shows, but just working conventions and so forth, as this does come from Joseph Courier of F4W Online, as he writes the following. Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux continue to fill up their appearance schedule as the two insist that they're no longer with WWE. Earlier this week, it was announced that the married couple will be appearing at the big event EXS, where they'll be signing autographs and meeting with fans in November. They have now been added to a few more convention appearances per their schedule. They will be on Mad Monster Expo, August 22nd in Concord, North Carolina. And actually, there's a graphic for this. Let me pull this graphic up really fast. Scarlett's got it on her Twitter. Whoops. Went to Crosses by accident. Scarlett Bordeaux. So this is the graphic here. That is not the right one. There's multiple Scarlett Bordeaux's. Lady Scarlett, I think, is the correct one. There it is. Here we go. So they did announce the following dates. So let's pull this up here on the screen. So Friday, August 22nd, from Embassy Suites by Hilton in Concord, North Carolina, they'll be at the Mad Monster Expo. Then on September 5th, 6th, and 7th, on the Ontario Convention Center in Ontario, California, they'll be at Creepy IE Aftermath. I know this weekend, Scarlett and Shotzi are doing a horror convention in Long Beach or Huntington Beach in Southern California. Then on September 12th, 13th, and 14th, they'll be at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts for Silver Scream Con 4. October 3rd and 4th, they'll be at the Florida State Fairgrounds for Scaradice. They'll be at New York Comic Con October 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Javits Center. And then, as we talked about, on November 15th, they'll be appearing at the big event EXS. That is at the Soulfolk Credit Union Arena in Brentwood, New Jersey. So they've been announcing stuff, and apparently they're asking for big money. Like, the word going around right now is that Karrion Cross and Scarlett are asking for big money when it comes to what they are wanting for their appearances. Let me see. Where was it? I saw something about this. Now I can't find it. But there was a thing going around earlier saying that they were asking for a big money when it comes to appearances. Here it is. Dave Meltzer wrote the following in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. One person involved in independent wrestling brought up that Karrion Cross and Scarlett are charging a very high price tag, and after the conversation said that they weren't buying any of this regarding the WWE departure. So basically the way that reads, and we don't have any other further context on this, but the way this reads is that they're charging such a high price that people think that they're outpricing themselves, that they think that they are still with WWE. And again, there's still that speculation out there, but people think that they're charging such a high price so that way people don't book them because they are still with WWE. I don't know if that's true. That's what Meltzer wrote and how I perceived it. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I'll say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, we will be back live tonight following Friday night SmackDown. Then I don't know if we're going to do anything for Triple Mania over the weekend, but we for sure will talk about it on Monday's Wrestling Wrap-Up. That will probably be the big topic unless something else breaks over the weekend. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right, if you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to have a raid really fast.